But first, let's just talk about why this is produced, what is the methodology, coverage, what are the official estimates produced, how you compare quarterly employment survey and quarterly labor force survey, short and long-term improvement plan. You'll recall that each time we got a quarterly employment survey, we say, well, the numbers are not exactly the same with the quarterly labor force survey, because first and foremost, we are measuring two different things: jobs versus employment. So they are different concepts, although they may coincide. But as we do so, there are certain sectors that we exclude in the quarterly employment survey, such as agriculture, as well as domestic people who are working in households. So those two chunks of employees are excluded. So the discrepancy is necessarily palpable. It has to be seen, because we are not referring to the same things. And of course, we cover, as I said, and of course, we look at turnover above 300,000. So we exclude small and medium and micro businesses whose turnover might be less than 300,000, and they have to be registered. You remember the SESE, we said survey of employees and self-employed, non-VAT registered businesses, and not paying income. So necessarily the quarterly employment survey, in terms of the numbers of jobs that people occupy, will be different from the number of employees that we report on. And of course, we look at key economic statistics of employment and gross earnings. And of course, a number of people use them, and researchers. And in the process, a nice debate emerges in society. So this is what is excluded by the QES: the informal business, domestic service, self-employed persons, so such as sole proprietors, and any person who worked for free, who did not receive pay during the reference period, and those commission earners without a retainer. So that is the dividing line. But what we have also observed is that having excluded all that, there is still an unexplained difference. And that unexplained difference is because of Molana lost his coin. And then he looked for his coin, and a friend of his asked him, Molana, what are you looking for? He said, I'm looking for my coin. And they asked him, why are you looking? Is it this place where you lost it? He said, no, that's where there's light. So at times, there are limits to which your search can be. You search at times where there is light, irrespective of where you might have lost the coin. So the business register itself is what provides light. And we measure where there is light. So where there is no business register, we will not measure. But the business register has been actually improving. And the business register is a register of businesses. So I'm saying a business register is defined as a register of businesses. Let's swap the words. It is produced as a consequence of businesses applying for registration both at the Revenue Services, SARS, as well as the Commission for Intellectual Property, Company and Intellectual Property, CIPC. And out of that, then we draw the samples. But that business register had been requiring repair over a long period of time, and it has been improving over a period of time. So the sampling design that we use for this is, you have seen where we talked about large, medium, and small. We use that that approach and to sample, and those that are big are enumerated completely, and 2, 3, 4 are sampled independently using sampling, random sampling techniques. And we use turnover as the basis for a sample, not employment. And some of this can actually bring discrepancies in the numbers because we use turnover instead of employment. And of course, you don't have prior knowledge of what the employment is of the business. What you know from the business register is turnover. So these are the classification of businesses. And here, that's why we use turnover. And this brings a number of problems. And of course, we publish this quarterly in terms of special data dissemination standards of the International Monetary Fund with a quarterly lag. So for this quarter, the report will be the next quarter. It's not real time. And then, of course, number of employees as the last month of the reference quarter. And then gross earnings as the reference of the last quarter, average earnings. And then, of course, for that is rotated, or rather it's around the middle month of the 3 months. So if you want to compare QLFS and QES, and you want to see what QLFS in terms of, if you were to say, what would QLFS give me if I were to use it as a QFS? Then you will exclude from the QLFS employers and own account workers from formal sector, exclude agriculture, exclude private households. Then you must get the numbers in the QES. But unfortunately, even when you have done that, you still find that there is a discrepancy of about 1 million people that you cannot account for in the QES. And of course, this is because of the problems with the sample. And of course, as I said, over the years, the frame has improved as registration by SARS has improved. In fact, with SARS and CPIC now, you have self-service. You can register online, and then that online process eases the capability of citizens to register, and that has led to an improvement in the register. Previously, the register had a number of dead businesses. A lot of you, a lot of people, a lot of us, when we hear that there is going to be something like a census, in anticipation that we'll put a tender, we go and buy off the shelf business to be so and so foods so that we can go there. So the business register had a lot of dead units in it, and the cleaning process and making sure that the business register is adequate and consisting of fresh units. That has been the task that SARS and CIPC and STSA have been working on. And so there is an improvement process in that regard. This is the improvement plan. We will be assessing taxpayers that are basis IRP 5s. We'll be integrating taxpayer data into the business register. That's May 2015. We'll create an employment frame from which will form the basis for the sample, and then we'll be drawing samples in 2016, cleaning up the samples, and reporting on new data using these new samples by September 2016. This is what we'll be doing with the QES. In the meantime, we'll release it as we see it. But understand that it will have these limitations. So those are the 4 presentations that I thought. So although the theory has this kind of problems that I've just mentioned, but in terms of industry composition, the proportions are still plausible and can be used to make estimates. So if you go to our website, you'll see quarter end in June.